Okay. Here we are again, everybody. See, Mystique, she disappeared on us. Sad, but true. So, sorry. No, kidding. But, hope everybody's having a great weekend. I just wanted to knock this card out real quick and, show you guys what we got going on with this one. Keeping the character very clean. Comic book version, not the cinematic universe version. I prefer this one. I don't know really why as much. However, I get asked that all the time, but it's just something I prefer. I prefer this one. I think she's a highly overused and underrated character, and I thought they were going to give her a lot stronger background in the solo series they had for her, but that unfortunately was an epic fail. It was a good series for what it was. It was just not what I thought it was going to be. I won't spoil it for anybody if you're going to read it and check it out but haven't yet. I hear all the time when I come up with little things like that, people tell me, well, I never knew she had that, or I never knew that character did this, or whatever, but I won't spoil it for you. And if you're posting, please don't do that either. Let them check it out and make them check out a comic book. That's awesome. Get people to read the stuff. You can collect it. You can get it as a collected trade now, I think. I don't have that book in my collection, so I can't say. But it may be out there in a trade collection somewhere. Which, if it is, it's I think 4 or 5 issues is the major first story arc of it. So you guys can check that out. I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, and when I draw these guns in, to all my friends that are paying attention to this, don't give me any crap about the guns. I know they're a Rob Liefeld pull off here, which means I'm using mythical weapons. Just made up firearms. And no offense to Rob, that's actually a cool thing to do. But yeah, I didn't go exact with them. She always uses some kind of makeshift elongated weapon, which is kind of strange, but it works. So I'm not going to go there with it. I'm just going to keep it simple, knock it out, have a variation, and go from there. But like I said, don't wrap my knuckles on it. I'm just kicking it out for the card purpose. It's all in good fun. Let's keep it that way. But yeah, it's one of those characters that I would love to see developed into something else. This is one of those type of characters, they did the same thing with Deadpool, but I tell you what, if they ever wanted to, they could have this character developed into an elite assassin and take out half the Marvel Universe and never even show that she was involved. She could be standing there right in your face, and you never even know that it was her that did it. Unlike Deadpool, which has killed everybody. So But with this character, I would love to see her be developed, and I doubt it'll ever happen, but you never know. I didn't think that that whole thing with the Deadpool film would actually happen, but, you know, Fox got one right there. As if you've ever heard my podcast, you know I'm not pulling any punches there. So, they tend to frown on my comments, but I don't get me wrong, I love the studio, they do great work. It's just, with all of the corporate malarkey going on, we'll put it nicely, that's always been an issue. And yes, I'm overscaling the skulls on her belt, because at one point she actually carried weapons in these. Anything from spare rounds out to explosives and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's the Mystique version of a utility belt. I'll leave it at that. And because these gloves are white, I'm not going to detail them out too much. I don't want to monkey that up. Going to leave her very clean because she's got that bright blue skin thing happening. So I don't want to mess with her tunic too much. And yes, this is an Egyptian style tunic. So everybody that's seen her in the comics or the animated series knows that she has the draping flaps in front and back here, down between her legs, and she has the tight-fitting form that goes up here under her neck. So we're going to have that going on. I don't know why, like I said before, I don't know why someone hasn't done anything with this character. I would love to see her take off, especially in the way the Marvel books are going now, with everything being, you know, alternate this and alternate that without purpose, and whatever origin things they got going on, and every incarnation of every character possible back to life or dead or whatever. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ranting, I'm just pointing it out. I would love to see her go in and wipe some stuff out. It would be great to have her on a series like that. I was discussing it with a colleague last night about how Marvel's gone off and changed everything. And I mean, everybody knows this. I've done this on the podcast forever. And like I said, I take a creative standpoint with it. I don't take a rant. But we were discussing, you know, if you had the opportunity to work for Marvel, what would you do? Well, me personally, I don't know. I can't say. I'm taking a lot of interest right now in DC because of the fact that they have so many things going back to normal incarnations and familiar type of origins. It would be easy to get back in with them. But as far as Marvel goes, I don't know. The way they've got it done, they've commercialized and Disneyized everything over there so badly right now. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just that it's so different. A lot of people can't relate to it anymore, and I think that's the problem, is it's non-relatable as what we know as Marvel. So I left it wide open and basically bowed out of that one and said I wouldn't even do it. But, you know, I can't say that I wouldn't, because I don't know if I would or not, honestly. I mean, the job is definitely a phenomenal position to hold, as long as the story makes sense. But, I don't know, I don't see... I don't hear the knocks at my door from Marvel saying they, you know, they want me to work for them yet. So we'll see, and I'll stick with my Firestorm comics right now, and go from there. But if the opportunity came up, you know, a lot of people are complaining about that stuff right now. I don't know that I would turn that down. I really don't, because I know what it would mean for my career to have that. I mean, even outside of my marketing, I would definitely take the brand boost from being associated with such a powerhouse. And I'm taking reality to it, you know. It is what it is. It's a business move. And to think of it any other way is kind of, I don't know, immature, in my opinion. But, not to get too serious, because it is a Sunday after all. Well, you know, Matt just posted about getting a Young Avengers or a B-rate character if he got the opportunity. You know, everybody says that, and everybody wants to, you know, take a character and master it. But the problem with that is the mainstream characters are so messed up on the A-line. If it's not the cinematic universe version, they tend to lean into being a problem, because whenever all that's going on, you have to consider, if the main universe is jacked up, your secondary universe is going to be just as bad. I mean, they're going to screw up with the mainstream origin, and it's going to relate badly to what you're doing, because I had written a couple of different things and had them go to the wayside. You know, I can't reveal any of that, but it's one of those things where it's like, yay, I've got 6 months worth of work, and then all of a sudden I got shelved because they went a different direction. You know, man, I've had major companies do that, and I've had a lot of freelance stuff, the smaller stuff, go awry too, because one minute it'll be there, and then the next minute it'll be flaked out or gone or whatever, you know, and then you're just left hanging. And these little skulls here, they're weird. They always get changed up. Sometimes they look like the Apocalypse style skulls. Sometimes they look cartoony and round-eyed like this one, like I'm doing here. And sometimes they look like little voodoo skulls, you know, that look like shrunken heads, like real people. It just depends on the artist. But most of the time they are encapsulated like this, and they look fake. I mean, they deliberately... They're not there for intimidation, they're there for practicality. And at one point I think it meant these little symbols that she had for marking how many people she had assassinated or something. I mean, there was tons of different variations on this. But anyway, for this purpose I'm putting these little capsules on here. Now, with her skin being blue, I'm going to leave that wide open. With the red being in her hair, I'm going to leave that open. I'm not going to shade that up too much. I'm going to make these guns gray. I'm going to go with a metallic blue or gray color to offset and contrast her skin, and this white. So I'm not really going to mess with that too much. But these eyes, I wanted to do something. I'm going to try and do something special here with them. I'm going to grab a 3. Because it is Mystique, I'm going to come in with an iris and a pupil right here. And then I'm going to ring it out. I'm going to break it up with a couple of little rings in here, so you can get that multifaceted look that she has. So, that'll show up in the final piece. But, because it's a little tiny here. I'll pick the card up for you guys so you may be able to see that. But yeah, I find that character very interesting, and I'm hoping, like I said, they do something with her. But who knows? Fox has the movie rights right now, and I don't like that incarnation. I really don't. To be a full transmorph like that, it's just weird to me. I understand why they do it, but it doesn't really matter what type of beautiful actress they put behind her. I just didn't like the film version. I thought they made her as intelligent as the character should be, but the story didn't adapt for her very well at all throughout the trilogy that she was in. So, and then now the first class stuff, she's getting a little more character development, but they did it for the cinematic universe, not for the comic side, so it got a little intense and ran awry. And they still had the opportunity to come back. Not, like I said, not that I'm ranting or complaining or whatever. It's just they could have gone into the storyline from the comic books where they had her assassinate Rogue's parents after she ran away, and she saw it. She played Rogue's mother for a little while, and I thought that was interesting. And there's just variations that they could have donned on the character and made her really, really cool and intense, but they failed to do so. And I'm sure that was budgetary and, time-wise, because those films are very, very packed. But we'll see what happens, because I'm sure there's going to be another appearance of the character here shortly. There is another X-Men film being worked on, and we'll see what happens. And like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing on Marvel by any means, or any of the films, or any of that. It's just a personal perspective on things. And yes, I'm giving her a little bit of a gun there, because she does have the athleticism and the development to do that. I'm not going to overwork it. I don't want to turn her into She-Hulk or anything gross like that. Which this character at that level would be weird. So, I think we got her. That's going to do it. But I hope you guys check it out, and I'll post these finished pieces here pretty quick. Facebook has been giving me some trouble with posting and things and doing some idle stuff, so I have to do a couple more postings tonight and tomorrow for the leftover outstanding cards that I've done, and get them posted up for you guys to see. Also, this coming week, I'm going to start working on my comic Kickstarter blog, as well as the podcast for it, and the show will be returning finally. Everybody has been bugging me about that and excited about it, and I'm going to finally put it out there. So, with that said, we got a lot going on this week. We will catch you tomorrow with, let me check here. I'm going to do a dual card with this one. The second card for tomorrow is going to be Fire and Ice. I've also got a card coming up with Matthew Becker, which is the last of the 5 commission cards I have for him, but later in the evening. But for tomorrow, if you're interested, I'm going to be doing a dual card back to back. I haven't decided how I'm going to lay this one out yet and do 2 cards at once, or if I'm going to do on the same card the layout or not. Right now we have Fire and Ice. I'm doing them both. I know Permafrost was a great received card. The other night we had a blast with it with Matt. I'm going to have that for you guys. finished up here pretty quick as well. But tomorrow, Fire and Ice from DC Comics, the traditional 1990s version where they were a team, not necessarily the Killer Frost version, which came out in the animated series later on and changed Ice into a villain. But anyway, that's where we're at, guys. Thanks for hanging out with it, and we'll see you tomorrow.